In the year of 1849, Pfizer was founded and established by Charles Earhart and Charles Pfizer. They started their business as a manufacturer of fine chemicals. Now, Pfizer is the world's largest company involved in pharmaceutical business with a fortune of 500 company headquartered in New York. They make and distribute drugs and vaccines for a wide range of prescriptions products and satisfies a wide range of specifications. Pfizer has also won several honors and awards for its achievements, such as the supply of revolutionary generic drugs and medicinal products. 2021 was a watershed year for Pfizer because their annual profit is 22 billion, more than double the 2020 level. Annual revenues nearly doubled to 81.3 billion, with 36.8 billion from the COVID-19 vaccine.
The general environment consists of dimensions in a broader society that influence the industry and also the firms within it. There are 7 environmental segments, which includes demographic, economic, political, legal, socio-cultural, global, and also technological. Companies cannot entirely control all those environment segments, but what the company can do is recognize each strength of the segment and take advantage on the trends effect on it. So firstly, for the legal segments, the United States of America's pharmaceutical companies are under regulations granted to the Food and Drug Administration, also known as FDA. So FDA provide oversight over the quality of pharmaceutical products through 2 actions, which are drug applications and also inspecting factories for compliance with good manufacturing practices. FDA drug applications is sometimes a hassle for Pfizer, where Pfizer's drug application is sometimes not being reviewed. Also, it is costly, as approximately 60% of cost on developing new drugs is just for clinical trial that is required by the FDA. For the technological segments, so firstly, product innovations. They develop global innovative pharma business that focus on developing and registering and as well as commercializing medicines for therapeutic areas, include inflammation, cardiovascular, metabolic, neuroscience and pain, rare diseases, and also women's and men's health. Examples of medicines is Xeljanz, Equis, and Lyrica. And also for their focus of private and government-supported R&D expenditures, in 2004, Pfizer founded Pfizer Ventures Investment, also known as PVI, where they invest in strategic areas and businesses that is the leading edge of healthcare and science and technologies. In 2016, Pfizer invests in early immuno-oncology, gene therapy, and other cutting-edge fields, where they invest 46 million in 4 companies, which is BioAtla, Cortezim, and 4D Molecular Therapist. Moving on to the global segment, during a global phenomenon where there is a major outbreak of the novel coronavirus COVID-19, Pfizer has partnered up with BioNTech on March 17, 2020 to develop a vaccine for COVID-19. Pfizer has become the largest COVID-19 vaccine distributor in the United States, where they distributed more than 300 million vaccine doses as of 17 June 2022.
The industry environment is the set of factors that will influence the competitive actions and responses of a company. Pfizer uses the 5 forces of competition model to construct their industry analysis. Now we'll go through to Pfizer's 5 forces competition model. Firstly, Pfizer's threats of new entrants are high. Since Pfizer is in a pharmaceutical industry, its barrier to entry is huge, especially because of the high cost of research and development, quality control, and its high human capital. Secondly, Pfizer's bargaining power of buyers is low. This is because their products are uneasy to be found in the nearest pharmacy, so the customers face difficulties to bargain for the price of these branded medicines, especially for rare conditions. This leaves the customers no choice but to pay for the price set by Pfizer. Thirdly, Pfizer's threat of substitute product is low. Since Pfizer's products are protected by patents, other companies could only produce generic medicines, but they are not effective enough. Plus, there is an alternative medicine, but most customers nowadays, they are more prefer for modern pharmaceuticals. Fourthly, Pfizer's bargaining power of suppliers are high. Due to the number of companies involved in the industry is more than the suppliers who supply limited rare raw materials and high technology machineries, these suppliers, they enjoy great deal of bargaining power. Fifthly, Pfizer's rivalry among competing firms is moderate. Pfizer is not facing high competition because their products are protected by patents. As long as their patents are still active, they can charge high prices for their medicine sold to obtain high profit margin.
So for the internal analysis, it covers on the strengths and weaknesses of the company. The strengths that can be seen for Pfizer is diverse product lines with over-the-counter offers. This is where Pfizer ventured into business, which enables the business to be developing widely. Secondly, Pfizer is the industry leader. This is where Pfizer is known to be the 49th largest public company in the world and second largest pharmaceutical company in 2020. Thirdly, a clear vision and mission of the company. Pfizer seems to have a solid, long historical tradition in the industry of manufacturing and distributing drugs for healthcare industry. While for its weaknesses, it has large acquisitions, causing low earnings per share, whereby large acquisitions by Pfizer haven't seen the company resulting in a stellar inequity as proof of the declining net income over the last few years. Second, reputation for litigation cases. This is where in result of negative brand image due to several legal issues and lawsuits in the past. Thirdly, dependent on research and development, a low investment into Pfizer's customer-oriented services, which leads to competitors gaining advantage in the near future. The Internal Factor Evaluation (IFE) matrix is a strategy tool used to evaluate firms' internal environment and to reveal its strengths as well as its weaknesses. For the table illustrated above, shows that Pfizer has got a total weight score of 2.50 for its Internal Factor Evaluation matrix, in which this clearly shows an average response to its existing strengths and weaknesses inside the company. As one of the biggest public companies in the world, Pfizer always tried its best to capitalize on its strength and eliminate its weaknesses to improve their business performance.
Alright, as for Pfizer's external factor evaluation matrix, their opportunities, Pfizer has collaborated with Liverpool School of Tropical Medicine's Respiratory Infection Clinical Research Group. They had launched 2 new studies to provide insights on the interaction between the bacteria Streptococcus pneumoniae and severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. As for increasing demand for quality healthcare solutions, Pfizer calls upon global health leaders and organizations to join the code, bringing their expertise and resources to close the health equity gap and help create a healthier world for 1.2 billion people. As for Pfizer's threats, Pfizer is facing threats when China's National Health Commission published its first proposed list of 34 drugs that are nearing patent expiration but have no generic drug application, or in other words, that are lacking competition. This might invite drug makers or copycats to make copies of the medicines. As for the economic downturn, according to the World Bank's latest Global Economic Prospects report, global growth is expected to slump from 5.7% in 2021 to 2.9% in 2022. This is significantly lower than 4.1% that was anticipated in January this year. So Pfizer might face low profit margin for this year.
Hi, my name is Fatina Amira and I will explain about competitor analysis. Competitor analysis, or also can be referred as a competitor analysis, is the process of identifying competitors in the industry and researching their different marketing strategies. We can use this information as a point of comparison to identify our company's strengths and weaknesses relative to each competitor. In order to better understand the external environment and the competition in a particular industry, firms often use competitive profile metric, which is CPM. The metric identifies a firm's key competitors and compares them using industry critical success factors. Critical success factors are the key areas which must be performed at the highest possible level of excellence if organization want to succeed in the particular industry. The more critical success factors are included, the more accurate the analysis is. The analysis also reveals company relative strengths and weaknesses against its competitors, so a company would know which areas it should improve and which areas to protect. As we can see, there are 9 critical success factors in Pfizer CPM, which is market share, brand reputation, product safety and efficiency, strong product portfolio, customer satisfaction, distribution channels, supplier power, financial position, and lastly, global competition. If we see the total score of this CPM, Pfizer are number 2 in the market demanding with total score of 3.46 compared to Johnson & Johnson number 1 with total score 3.8.
Moving on to the SWOT analysis for Pfizer. First one is the strength of the company. which is strong sales and marketing, which garners large revenues. During 2020 pandemic, Pfizer has invested more than 2 billion for research of vaccination. Next one is large human resource. Telemanagement at Pfizer and skill development of their employees. The human resources are integral to the success of Pfizer in biotechnology and drugs industry. Lastly, it has an innovative culture. Pfizer always attempts to research on the new discovery of medications for patients. And next one for their weaknesses, firstly is focused only on 1 out of 3 product lines. This is due to reduction in research and technology funding. Secondly, reliant on drugs with expiring patent. They have low potential to gain new blockbuster drugs, resulting in limited operations and restriction, producing new quality output. And lastly is large and increasing liability. Carries a significant amount of debt, as much as 50 billion in long-term debt on the books as 2020's June quarterly report.
As for the opportunities, the first one is lowering costs of new products launches through third-party retail partners and dedicated social network. Pfizer can use the emerging trend to start small before scaling up after initial success of a new product. Second, opportunity in online space. Increasing adoption of online services by customers will also enable Pfizer to provide new offerings to their customers in biotechnology and drugs industry. Lastly, rapid expansion of economy. As the US economy is improving faster than any other developed economy, it will provide Pfizer an opportunity to expand into the US market. Then for a threat, the first one is commoditization of the product segment. The biggest challenge for Pfizer and other players in the industry is the increasing commoditization of the products in the healthcare industry. Second, shortage of skilled human resources. Given the high turnover of employees and increasing dependence on innovative solutions, company name can face skilled human resources challenges in the near future. Lastly, competitive pressure. As the new product launch cycles are reducing in the healthcare industry, it has put additional competitive pressure on players such as Pfizer. Given the large customer base, Pfizer cannot respond quickly to the needs of the niche markets that disruptors are focusing on.
So in conclusion, Pfizer is a very successful pharmaceutical company. They have all that is needed to become one of the most very successful organizations in the world. However, in the current market scene, there are a lot of competitors that is growing rapidly in the pharmaceutical industries. Pfizer needs to make more improvement consistently in order for them to stay at the top in the pharmaceutical business.